Hello there, very good evening to all our viewers. This is the Tuesday edition of Primetime News. I'm Joel Outscoon.
And I'm Azra Hassan. Now, the fifth budget of the government elected in 2015 that was set to seek to empower the people of Sri Lanka was presented in Parliament today.
Well, along with that, government MPs praised the proposals presented in the budget. However, opposition MPs from the UPFA, the JVP and the TN are not very optimistic about these proposals.
Right, Joel, but how will this year's budget affect the general public of this country?
Well, we've got the breakdown lined up for all our viewers on Primetime News tonight. But I think first we need to take a look at the headlines.
2,500 rupee allowance for public sector employees. Concessionary housing loans for newlyweds and expatriates. 4 billion rupees for sanitation. Tobacco and alcohol prices to increase. Vehicle prices also on the rise. Opposition charges budget will drive up cost of living. Sumandiran fears economic crisis may be worse than expected, cites inaccurate budget data. Gramaniladaris protest blocking parliament entrance. MPs stranded.
The national budget for 2019 was presented by Finance Minister Mangala Samaravera in Parliament today under the theme Enterprise Sri Lanka, Empower the Public and Nurture the Poor. Now, this is the first budget proposal presented by the UMP government, which was established following the end of the former national government. Now, these are a few proposals included in the budget for 2019.
An allowance of 2,500 rupees will be provided to all state sector employees with effect from the 1st of July 2019. The budget will also address anomalies within the local pension system, and the necessary amendments to increase the benefit received by pensioners will take place with effect from the 1st of July 2019.
The previous government exploited the armed forces. The previous government used the military to establish their power and control. However, they failed to increase their allowances. The commando allowance of 1,000 rupees has not been changed for 20 years. We will increase this allowance to 5,000 rupees. The housing allowance has not been changed for 20 years as well. We plan to increase this allowance by 100%. Their uniform allowance will be increased to 600 rupees.
The budget proposes to implement a Home Sweet Home loan program for newlyweds, where up to a maximum of 10 million rupees can be obtained with an interest rate of 6%, repayable in 25 years. Another loan program to obtain a maximum of 10 million rupees with a 2-year grace period, repayable in 15 years, has been proposed for Sri Lankans employed overseas. 14 top-ranked GCE advanced level students will receive scholarships for overseas education. GCE advanced level qualified students who fail to obtain local university entrance will be eligible for an interest-free educational loan facility up to a maximum of 1.1 million rupees. The budget also includes a proposal to bear 75% of the total loan interest, where electric three-wheelers and small vehicles are purchased through loan facilities. The City Rider loan program will provide the opportunity to the private sector to import 1,000 luxury buses. The budget also includes proposals to provide railway carriages for the private sector on 4 main routes on a lease rental basis.
The light rail system will commence in 2019 and we have allocated 5 billion rupees for this. The roads connected to the Southern Expressway will be completed in 2019. While construction activities of the second phase of the Central Expressway is continuously taking place, Phase 1 and 2 will also commence. The construction of the Ruwanpura Expressway will also commence in 2019.
The budget 2019 also focuses on improving sanitation facilities of the general public.
The opposition leader developed the Hambantota district. The district boasts of roads that are not even constructed in the USA. They are beautiful castles and stadiums built by the Chinese. However, the opposition leader was aware that more than 100,000 people in the Hambantota district do not have lavatories. Is this what you call development? More than 1 million houses in Sri Lanka do not have proper sanitation facilities. More than 25,000 houses in the Monaragala district does not have sanitation facilities. It is a shame. Is this what you call development? Our government also has constructed highways and expressways. We will construct an expressway to Jaffna before our period ends. But the difference between the previous government is that we engage in both high and low-level development. By the end of this year, there will be no house in Sri Lanka without a lavatory, and we have allocated 4 billion rupees for this purpose.
The budget proposes to reduce the taxes imposed on small trucks. Tax concessions are to be provided for companies that grant 3 months of maternity leave. If maternity leave is further extended to 4 months, such companies will receive 100% tax exemptions for the 4th month. Private organizations that recruit differently abled people will receive government support. The government will bear 50% of the salaries up to a maximum of 15,000 rupees per differently abled person for a maximum of 2 years. Monthly allowance for differently abled people will be increased by 2,000 rupees. 2 farms will be constructed for the rehabilitation of those convicted of drug-related offences. A vocational training institute will be set up for female convicts. 600 million rupees will be allocated to expand the Suvasaria ambulance service island-wide. Steps will be taken to provide kidney patients with dialysis machines.
We have allocated 100 million rupees to sterilize stray dogs. As MP Dinesh Gunawardena alleges, this is not an election budget. We have allocated even funds for dogs. MP Vimal Veeravansa's wife will be very happy about this.
Budget proposals also include the addition of 600,000 beneficiaries to the Samurdhi Fund, while 10 billion rupees is to be allocated for this purpose. Samurdhi beneficiaries will also be eligible to obtain 30,000 rupees from savings in 2 installments. The first installment will be in April and the second installment will be in November. Artists will be exempt from paying income tax up to a threshold of 50,000 rupees. The budget also proposes to increase the funds allocated for renovation of religious places of worship from 500,000 rupees to 1 million rupees.
We are hoping to resolve the issues pertaining to infrastructure facilities through the Gamperaliya program, which commenced in June 2018. We have already allocated rupees 48,000 million for it. Provisions allocated for electorates have increased from 200 million to 300 million rupees. We also took steps to expand the program of this initiative.
Well, now several proposals have been put forward through the 2019 budget to boost government revenue.
The manufacturing tax on cigarettes will be increased from midnight today. Nation building tax will also be imposed on cigarette manufacturing from the 1st of June.
The nation building tax will be imposed on the production of cigarettes effective from the 1st of June. The price of a 60mm cigarette will be increased by approximately 5 rupees.
The manufacturing tax on motor vehicles and the luxury vehicle import tax will be increased effective midnight today. The revisions will have little impact on small engine motor vehicles. The marginal deposit requirement of 200% imposed on vehicle imports has been removed. The cess on import of beedi leaves will be increased from 2,500 rupees per kilogram to 3,500 rupees per kilogram effective midnight today. An embarkation tax of $10 will be charged from the 1st of April at airports and ports. A 3.5% nation building tax will be imposed each time a credit card or debit card is used for overseas payments in place of the current stamp duty. This proposal will come into effect from the 1st of June. Passport fees have also been revised. The fee for making changes to an existing passport has been increased from 500 rupees to 1,000 rupees from the 1st of June. The fee to obtain a new passport has been increased from 3,000 rupees to 3,500 rupees. The one-day service has also been increased by 5,000 rupees. The fees imposed on obtaining special number plates from the Department of Motor Traffic has also been increased. A fee of 1 million rupees will be charged when obtaining a customized number plate. The excise duty imposed on locally manufactured alcohol will increase from midnight today.
The excise duty imposed on locally manufactured alcohol will be amended with effect from midnight today, but the price of extra special arak will not increase. That is the drink of the poor.
The tax on garments manufactured by Board of Investment approved companies will be increased from the 1st of June. The expressway toll during peak hours will be increased by 100 rupees from the 1st of April. The annual license fee on casinos will be increased from 200 million to 400 million rupees, while an annual license fee of 1 million rupees will be imposed on bookmakers. An entrance fee of $50 will be charged at casinos from the 1st of June. The customs import duty imposed on select products including fruit drinks, alcohol and tobacco will also be revised effective midnight today.
The proposed budget deficit in 2019 is comparatively less than the deficit in 2018. Now, the total government income for the financial year 2019 is estimated at 2,464 billion rupees. Government expenses are estimated at 3,149 billion rupees. The expected deficit in the 2019 budget is 685 billion rupees. 913 billion rupees has been allocated for the repayment of debt premiums this year. Now, the total state revenue as a percentage of GDP is expected to increase to 15.8%. Total state expenditure as a percentage of GDP is expected to be 20.2%, and the budget deficit has been estimated at 4.4% of GDP. Now, these figures denote a gradual reduction in comparison with previous years. Now, following the budget proposals that were presented before Parliament today, a number of vehicles have seen their prices rise.
The price of a Maruti Suzuki Wagoner has risen by 250,000 rupees. The price of a Maruti Suzuki Alto has risen by 150,000 rupees. The price of the Toyota Axio and Toyota Aqua has risen by 600,000 rupees, while the prices of a Toyota Premio and a Toyota CHR have risen by 700,000 rupees. Vehicle importers say that the prices of electric vehicles have reduced. However, they claim that this reduction is insignificant.
Well, now let's take a look at what MPs had to say following the Finance Minister's budget speech for 2019.
When we look at this, it is evident that it's a burden on the people. The cost of living will increase. It is a total lie to say that 100,000 people in the Hambantota district do not have toilets. Either that or the officials have given false statistics. In the area, there are only about 15,000 homes. They will have to count the population of Hambantota first before thinking about toilets.
All I can say is that we have seen a budget that will enable the implementation of our government's policies, which will utilize limited resources for the unlimited demands of the people.
Mangala and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe are aware that by the time they turn around to spend the money that they allocate, their time will be up. All I can say is that it is all talk and no action.
We cannot awaken those who are asleep. This budget will be a relief to the people, especially those in the villages, and there are many more good proposals in this budget. If they cannot accept it, there is nothing we can do about it. We did not think we would be able to present a budget like this.
I must say that this is a grand exhibition of an unsuccessful exercise. There is an election coming up before 2020 and the government should prepare to go home. This is what the entire country is saying, and this is what will happen through this budget.
When considering global economic trends and our domestic economic environment, we have been able to present a balanced budget.
What Minister Mangala Samaravira has proposed for every sector is simply the piling on of the burden of the rural populace. The JVP has decided to vote against this budget, which is simply an extension of their destructive economic journey.
The budget presented by Honourable Minister Mangala Samaravira is extremely good. We have inquired after every strata of society and provided relief where necessary and invested where necessary. Special reliefs have been granted for the youth.
Some of the reliefs that they have proposed are targeting the date that the presidential election will be held.
Following the first reading of the budget proposal, Finance Minister Mangala Samaravira hosted the traditional tea party for all Parliament representatives.
Chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Public Finance, TNA MP M.A. Sumandiran has highlighted several disparities between the budget speech and the actual contents of the budget. Now, in an interview published in the Lankadweep newspaper today, Sumandiran underscored inaccuracies in the data that has been provided. Sumandiran said that while it is clear that those who prepared the budget have in their possession confidential information regarding accurate budget information, these accurate budget figures are not revealed to the general public.
The Lankadweep newspaper published an extensive interview with MP M.A. Sumandiran today on the basis of his experiences as the chairman of the Committee on Public Finance. Highlighting the lack of information that was submitted to the committee in the first place, Sumandiran noted that budget estimations that were received were different to what is said in the budget speech, adding, quote, "This has been somewhat of a game for a long time," unquote. The chairman of the Committee on Public Finance noted that inquiries into a 5-year foreign loan had exposed a difference of 52.8%. Sumandiran adds that when officials were questioned on this difference, they had claimed that there was a fluctuation in terms of currency since debt repayments were made in dollars. However, Sumandiran reiterated that while fluctuation could occur, it does not justify such a large disparity. He said, quote, "Ultimately, this has become a game where data is manipulated and state revenues are overestimated and state expenditure is underestimated, resulting in the government having insufficient funds to spend on the general public," unquote. The Committee on Public Finance had also exposed the lack of oversight in keeping an inventory of vehicles issued to ministers following cabinet reshuffles, adding that in some cases new vehicles are provided to ministers when the whereabouts of vehicles that are no older than 6 or 7 months are unknown. Sumandiran also revealed that while the committee had requested the fuel price formula during a meeting convened on the 25th of January, this information is yet to be submitted, adding that the only data that was provided were the fuel prices for the month in question. He claimed that officials of the Finance Ministry had not even attended the last meeting. Drawing attention to the National Budget Department, which is an institution that comes under the purview of the Ministry of Finance, Sumandiran said, quote, "We can define it as just another cost centre run by a few officials attached to the Ministry of Finance," unquote. While noting that the purpose of continuing such a department is to use additional funds which were not allocated through the budget, Sumandiran claimed that such institutions have been established with no scientific basis. Sumandiran concludes that based on the differences between reported data and reality, he believes that the economic crisis Sri Lanka is facing is far worse than expected.
If they are showing that their expenses as a government are low, and if they are taking more loans and understating these values, we have to question as to why he continues to express his support to this government. In doing so and supporting the government, which is distorting the figures, he himself shows the public that he is acting based on an understanding with the Prime Minister. So while the government, through the budget, plans to bring the economy to its knees, Ranil Wickremesinghe plans to protect himself by increasing state revenue by burdening the people with soaring taxes.
The opposition says that achieving the objectives included in the 2019 budget proposal is not practical. Now, this is the stance of the UPFA.
Sri Lanka must make a total debt repayment of 5.9 billion rupees this year. However, due to devaluation of the rupee against foreign currencies, this amount translates to approximately 1,008 billion rupees of the budget. We doubt the government can achieve their objectives due to the massive debt repayments and other government expenses. We have learned that by December last year, money printing amounted to approximately 90 billion rupees. So we have 3 options. We must print money, obtain foreign loans or sell national assets to settle government expenses.
Still in news here at home, now the Sri Lanka United Grama Niladhari Union carried out a protest blocking the main access road to the Parliament complex. Due to this protest, several parliamentarians had to enter the Parliament under police protection.
Police had to intervene to control the situation, which arose between MP Vijit Vijayamuni Soisa and the protesters. United National Party parliamentarian Ashu Marasinghe also faced opposition from the protesters. The parliamentarian agreed to take 5 representatives into the parliamentary premises to discuss matters and to give them a solution.
We work according to about 150 laws, and every government uses us to get their work done and then sets us aside. MP Ashu Marasinghe said he asked that 5 representatives come with him to Parliament to speak to the minister concerned, but they took us near the door and then sent us back. We are very disappointed. We will not allow Grama Nildaris to be treated in this manner in the future. We would like to tell them that if they plan to continue in this manner, they ought to be prepared to face the repercussions. We are here at the parliamentary roundabout and they continue to fool us. What I can say is that in the future, they may have to face more stern trade union action. All we ask is that a decent settlement be provided.
The organisers of the protest cited 17 unresolved problems relating to the Grama Nildaris service, including the service constitution. Grama Nildaris from the administrative divisions across the country participated in this demonstration. The main access road to Parliament was closed temporarily due to the protest.
An article published by a Singaporean university body has warned against the restoration of the death penalty here in Sri Lanka.
The commentary published by the International Centre for Political Violence and Terrorism Research, a constituent unit of the Nanyang Technological University, states that, quote, Sri Lanka risks alienating nations whose help is needed to combat drug trafficking, unquote. Under the section named Policy Recommendation, the article published states that before Sri Lanka becomes established as a drug transit hub, the authorities need to continue to apprehend traffickers, drug abusers and rehabilitate them. It adds that one challenge that Sri Lanka has to overcome is the lack of financial and human resources committed to capacity building, such as training anti-narcotic officers. Finally, it states that, quote, the current government will also have to overcome both domestic and international opposition from those who do not endorse the drug penalty for drug traffickers, unquote. However, Singapore imposes the capital punishment on drug traffickers. In October last year, Singapore executed drug traffickers, including foreign nationals such as US citizens, Malaysians and locals as well. Despite pleas from international bodies like Amnesty International and Malaysia, their geographical neighbour who has abolished the death penalty, Singapore did not hesitate to execute a Malaysian named Prabhu N. Padmanathan, who had been on death row since 2014. A lawyer representing Prabhu N. Padmanathan said that Singapore has also unlawfully denied an appeal for clemency filed by a family member of a death row inmate. He further stated that Singapore appears to be shortening the notice given to prisoners so that they can execute them with a minimum notice. How can a university based in a country that has imposed the death penalty in their own country, which has already executed inmates on drug charges, warn Sri Lanka on how it plans to counter the war on drugs?
A Bolivian national was arrested at the Kadena International Airport while he was attempting to smuggle about 5 kilograms of cocaine into the country. Now, Customs Media spokesperson Sunil Jayaratne stated that the cocaine is worth in excess of 75 million rupees. The suspect had travelled from Brazil to India and had arrived in the country via New Delhi. The Customs Media spokesperson revealed that the 60-year-old suspect had concealed the stock of cocaine in his luggage. Meanwhile, a conference was held in Colombo on adopting scientific strategies to tackle drug smuggling. The event was praised by President Maithripala Sirisena.
The conference focused on adopting a system which is well coordinated and balanced to eradicate illegal drug smuggling into the country. The event was organized by the National Dangerous Drug Control Board. The event commenced today and will continue on to tomorrow with the participation of religious leaders, local and foreign experts and policymakers.
I have introduced several new programs to the country. I have convened senior officials from the media tomorrow. I wish to introduce new national projects which eradicate and control illegal drug trafficking. I will strengthen the ongoing program. If we simply state in the words of our countryman, Kasipu is a serious menace. I informed the Inspector General of Police 2 weeks ago that I will only give 3 months to eradicate the brewing of Kasipu or moonshine. Inspector General of Police, there should not be a single place where moonshine is being brewed in the island by the dawn of this Vesak full moon Poya day. If not, I have to consider the police department as a department which is not capable of doing such work. It is a good department. So by the dawn of Vesak full moon Poya day, the country should be cleansed of moonshine breweries. Police and the Triforces who put an end to the LTTE should not fail in a task like this.
Massive load of narcotic drugs still coming. We have to have some sort of a strategic plan for that. For that we have to have a network. Our network should be very much stronger than their network. Otherwise we'll be a failure again. This is a continuing process, drug market. While being there in the jails, while being there in the remand custodies, they are operating. Why? They have the money power. They have the connections. They have all the communication process. Can you believe still some of the magistrates are not accepting our detections and seizing the assets? All these things must come to effect at once if we want to have a very strong enforcement to be implemented. It's a long process. So these are the police challenges at the moment.
The trafficking of illegal narcotics such as heroin, cocaine and other psychoactive chemicals is a major business for transnational criminal organizations. The illicit narcotics trade imposes heavy health, social and enforcement costs on society. In recent years, the trade has taken a very violent path with over 60,000 deaths and 25,000 disappearances in the last 7 years around the world. Countering narcotics is like playing gold. You can make 100 brilliant seizures, but the only shot people will remember will be that gets past you. So as drug law enforcement agencies, what we are called upon is to stop that one consignment which goes past your legs.
A diamond rumored to be worth over 5 billion rupees, which was believed to have been stolen in the Pandapiti area recently, has been found.
The diamond was found during a raid in the Keselwatta area carried out by the Palliagoda Divisional Crimes Detective Bureau. Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said one suspect named Kalum Indika was arrested in connection with the incident. When inspecting his residence in Pittigala, a sum of 15 million rupees was also discovered. It was revealed in the investigations that Kalum Indika had been given items including gems and diamonds, 2 pistols and a T-56 assault rifle by the group that carried out these crimes in Piliyandala. We were also able to find 10 grams of heroin on him. Officials discovered this particular diamond when inspecting the cupboard in the residence. Officials also found 126 mobile phones and 40 pounds of gold. Another residence had been taken on rent as a hideout. When this residence was inspected, 647 bullets, 1 live hand grenade and 3 pairs of handcuffs and sets of uniforms similar to those worn by police and the army were found. When inspecting the rear garden of this residence in Pittigala, we were also able to find a sum of 15 million rupees that had been buried. It was revealed during the recording of statements that this surya was bought by him for a sum of 3.7 million rupees. He said that he bought it to remove the risk of getting shot.
The Pivithuru Hello Rume today handed over a complaint to the Presidential Commission appointed to investigate fraud and corruption in state institutions.
The complaint they handed over is regarding irregularities in the cancelled acquisition of Airbus A350-900 aircraft.
The complaint concerns prominent UNP MP Kabir Hashim. It is about the transactions surrounding the A350-900 aircrafts. When this government came to power, they halted this transaction. As a result of this stoppage, and since this government overstepped their mark in the tender process, this government has lost 150 billion rupees. Normally, those who take a step to terminate an agreement must come together to discuss the matter and come to an understanding. But Sri Lankan Airlines has not done such a thing. This is clearly a course of action that took place based on the whims of one person. It is possible that each party may have pocketed around $10 million through this transaction in commissions. We made the complaint today with all the required evidence.
Well, with that, we wrap this edition of Prime News. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm Joel Outscoon.
And I'm Mazra Hassan. Take care and good night.